Wow, that's really impressive. Okay. In 2018, you launched an impactful social media campaign. What inspired you to initiate the Don't Tell Me How to Dress social movement? So what really drove you to do that?
Actually, it all happened very quickly. It happened one morning when I was reading a newspaper and an article kind of caught my attention. It was right at the time leading up to Songkran in 2018, so it was about March. And the headline said, "Don't dress sexy, department tells women." And I was like, that's an interesting headline. Let me read more. And basically it was their way of saying that we really want to reduce the cases of sexual harassment and sexual assault. So here's how we're going to do it. Women, don't dress sexy. And that was it. There was no other kind of warning to people, hey, don't do this, or if you have any need help, you can contact this call center. There was nothing. It was basically, if you wear a turtleneck to the Songkran party, then you'll be safe. And obviously we know that that's not the case. So I got really upset. I would literally, my ears started burning, and I didn't know what to do. So I picked up my phone and I recorded a rant, like, really, this is all you can think of, boom, and then I hit send and I put the hashtag "Don't tell me how to dress, tell men to respect." And then I threw my phone in my bag and went and did a fashion show, and then came back at like 2 hours later, and it had blown up. It had blown up. It went like, I've never had anything go viral like that before. But it hit a nerve, and I had women from all over Thailand, sharing their stories like, yeah, me too. How come, I was wearing a t-shirt. I also said that, shared my story of sexual harassment during Songkran when I was 17, even though I was wearing, baggy t-shirt and jeans. And so that was really what sparked me continuing this message of, why are we still blaming women? Why are we blaming what they're wearing? Why are we blaming how they act for their sexual assault? I think we need to be talking to the people who think that they can get away with this behavior. And so that's kind of the catalyst for Don't Tell Me How to Dress. It's now been 4.5 years. I've created exhibition with clothing worn by survivors at their time of their assault. It's now an online exhibition. We did it in Singapore. We've done it in the Philippines. I've talked about this on many, many global platforms, and it's still going.
Wow, that's absolutely a fantastic journey. That something like a newspaper headline could spark a sense and kind of like initiate such a huge campaign. I would like you to further elaborate a little on what is your mission and vision, goals, and values of the Don't Tell Me How to Dress. Are there any particular sustainable development goals that you're focusing on achieving through this campaign?
The vision for Don't Tell Me How to Dress is just to create awareness first around the real issues, the real causes of sexual violence, gender-based violence. I want to educate the youth. From children through schools. I've gone on many school talks, universities, so it's through education. I've written a book about this. I want to empower women, girls, or anybody who's a victim of gender-based violence to speak up, to use your voice, to stop hiding in the shadows. It's only when we speak up are we able to hold those accountable. I also engage with governments, private sector, like basically this is a concerted effort. This needs effort from everybody. You can't just one person, try to fight the fight. It needs collaboration. And so that's kind of the four missions of Don't Tell Me How to Dress. But also I hope that this is a hashtag that everyone can use. To really highlight that, this is an issue that we all need to help eradicate, basically.
Yes, I totally agree. It just needs more collaboration between people. So what are the major takeaways from the exhibitions of the survivors clothing?
So the actual exhibition was something that I was really, really proud of. I was able to get UN Women to come on board, Embassy of Canada, and then the Women and Men Progressive Foundation of Thailand. They were the ones that supplied all the clothing. So the whole point of this exhibition was to show clothing worn by survivors at the time of their assault. And then these are university student outfits, schoolgirl uniform, t-shirts, shorts, turtleneck sweater, long sleeve, long jeans, very conservative outfits. There was not even one bikini, nor does that even matter, all the way to a toddler's play clothes. And so I really wanted to highlight, look, stop talking about the clothes. Let's talk about what the real issue is, and that is the power imbalance in many of these situations that men feel that they can do this and get away with it. And so the main takeaway of that was everybody who saw the exhibition came away visibly shaken. I mean, we had the first one in Paragon. The whole point was I wanted to be in a shopping mall, because up until this point, every time you talk about sexual assault or violence or harassment, it's always like hush hush in small groups with small NGOs or people who are working in gender equality. I wanted it to be in the middle of a mall, and people are like happily shopping with their bags, and then they wander into this exhibition, and then they're like hit with the reality that this is something that happens every day, literally under our noses, in our communities, even in our homes, yet nobody's talking about it. And the first week that it was there, people would come out of the exhibition crying. A lot of women came up to me and were just like, thank you for doing this. This happened to me, or this happened to somebody that I loved. And so that was really powerful, and we were able to take that to many different places. And now it's on the website. So the original exhibition lives on at don'ttellmehowtodress.com. So I hope that people can come and see. It won't be as impactful because it's something about seeing the actual clothes, but it's as good as it gets.
What are your thoughts on the possible solutions to prevent sexual harassment and victim blaming in Thailand?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts. How much time do we have? Again, this is a very complicated, multi-layered issue, because it stems deeply from, deep-rooted gender norms, stereotypes that we've been passing on from generation to generation. It's in our culture. A lot of these norms can be quite harmful, when it comes to valuing men and women. And so for me, there's lots of different ways, collaboration between people who are making the policies, lawmakers, access to justice for women, and making institutions that should be safe, such as schools, universities. A huge part of it is education. So how do we change the mindset of the next generation by educating, giving right information, and so it starts very early. It starts from as soon as a child is starting to socialize. What are the messages that they're getting? How are we raising them to be respectful? How are we raising them to understand the meaning of consent? So I have lots of ideas on how to do that, but I think generally, if society as a whole starts to understand that these behaviors are not acceptable, there is never any excuse for forcing someone to do something against their will. Perhaps we can try to help each other be active bystanders and point it out when it happens as well.